Hello, my beautiful people, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today we are working on Sunday stitching. So we've had the 5th prompt from the ladies over at Journal of Stitchery, Sarah and Rachel, and it was vintage embroidery. Now, I'm not lucky enough to have any actual vintage embroidery. So I thought a lot of things. I thought about faux seed sack and stitching on that, because obviously I've got this stenciled and no, that got pushed out. I found this and I thought she was gorgeous, and then I was like, nah. And I hunted around on Pinterest and basically I found a number of red work stitcheries from the 1920s and 30s, and that's why I ended up on this route. I then found this one, but the one that's actually won is this glorious, I imagine, Edwardian boot. Those of you that have been here a while will know I'm a bit of a shoe freak. I do love my shoes, so that was always going to win. However, as you can see, it is quite a small pattern. I mean, the whole piece of paper is only 3-inch square-ish. So I'm thinking that although this is a really good red, and this would work nicely in it. Oh, excuse me, I've just had my lunch. I feel like it might be a bit too cumbersome. So I'm going to do something really weird. Well, I think it's weird, something I've never done before, and I'm going to do it in stitching cotton. I've got this bright red, it's almost the same colour. I'm going to go for that, and what I thought was to try and age it even further, even though it's faux, is I've cut out this very bad oval, and to try and hide some of its badness I've roughed it up and torn it. And I thought we'd frame it, because I know they often used to frame their needlework. So yeah, we've got this lovely white cotton that's got these like dimples on it. I've drawn on the boat, and now I'm going to set about and do some stitching. So those of you that are joining in this Journal of Stitchery round, volume 3 I think it is, be really interested to know, you know, what you're doing for this. Were you lucky enough to actually have some vintage embroidery, or are you trying to conjure something in the way that I am? And how's your week been? Have you been okay? You all happy, safe and well, I hope? So, queen of the long string, as you know. I'm just going to trim into this. I've been on grandma duty. I did tell you that early in the week, I think. My eldest granddaughter started school, so she's had very short days and has needed picking up. And of course mum and dad have been at work, so that's not been very easy for them. So yeah, that's, oops, have we got a knot already? That wouldn't be good, would it? That's, yeah, we've got a knot already. Can you believe that? Right, if I put it right up there, which means I've tied the thread to the needle, it means the needle's not going to come out, so that's okay. And the knot shouldn't really bother us because it's smaller than the needle head, she says. Okay, let's get started and see if this is going to work. So I'm just going to work in a basic straight stitch. I may well straight or back stitch, yeah, back stitch probably, because yeah, back stitch, because then I can feed my threads round each other. And oh, it's very delicate, isn't it, doing it in cotton? I wouldn't have thought of doing this, and I'm sure millions of people have done this, and you're all laughing at me going, well yeah, of course, duh. and I'm sure way back when things were originally done like this. Don't know, but yeah, it's very, very fine. I think we need to cut down our stitch size to marry it up. I have in the background been working on the Stitch the Season piece I showed you last week that's being hosted by Corinne. I've also been working on just a random florally piece inspired by, I think it's Jennifer, isn't it? Jennifer Colston that's written the book with all the flowers in. I think it's Jennifer. I'm coming to realise why people use a square. It keeps attention really nice. I have got squares, not squares, sorry, a circle. I can't even think what it's called now. A hoop, an embroidery hoop. I've got a few, but I don't know. I just feel a bit weird with it. I find it easier just to stitch like this. So yeah, you see we've got these lovely sort of spots that are in this fabric. It's from an old blouse, a lady's blouse. So it's been laundered many times and it's beautifully soft. I am wondering now if maybe I should have put a little bit of batting behind it, but we're off and running now, so it's a bit too late, isn't it? Oh dear, totally missed that. So, sorry, you know what I'm like, once I start stitching it goes very, very quiet. It's almost ASMR, isn't it? You have a sniggering in the background. It's obviously watching something funny. Talking of something funny, I saw a thing the other day where people were talking about unfunny comedians, and you know, I think I've said this before, in that comedy is a very personal thing. Also, for me personally, it's a mood thing. Depending what frame of mind I'm in, depends on what I find funny. I don't know if you're the same. So yeah, just basically been stitching my life away. Nice and calm, and in this weather still you can stitch under the fan, which is really awesome. It's a lovely colour. And I think, you know, because I had the red and gold colour theme, it's going to work quite nicely. When I was searching for this, I did find on Pinterest that somebody had done almost like a calendar of women's work. So on Monday, for example, the lady was doing laundry, and Tuesday she was baking, and I thought it might be nice, sort of 50s style, I suppose, to do each one as a block on its own in something like red or black work, and then do something with the individual blocks. This is the trouble, you just get so many projects on the go that you don't know whether you're coming or going in the end. Right, so what I'm going to do is work all the way around the edge with the back stitch, and then I'm going to feed my thread through. You've seen me do that millions of times. I'm sure it's got a name. I don't know what it is, I'm sorry. I'm sure it is a stitch, not just feed your thread back through the back stitch. And then I'm going to, that will make it obviously a bit thicker for an edge, and then I'm just going to go through and stitch all the detail. So I think what I'm probably, oh look, I missed that one. I have to go backwards. It's because I'm talking. What I'm probably going to do is turn the camera off and stitch on my own, because this is obviously a bit boring for you. And then I'll come back when all this border's done and been overlaid with the extra thread, and then we can work on doing some of the pretty detail. How does that sound? Because also the thing is here, of course these would have been buttons, so I'm thinking these will be French knots. So maybe the buttons would be in a different colour. Maybe I would do the French knots in, say, black or grey. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'll be back in a bit when I've done all that. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see I've got a sneaky cup of coffee here. So I have been, I can't pick it up, my fingers are numb. I've been all the way around the outside and overlapped all of the stitches, except I've just noticed those ones there. I'll do them in a minute. So what I'm going to do now is detach this red thread. Should I detach it, or have I got enough? No, detach it. Because I've got this Sheppey's grey or Sheepy's, and I've decided I'm doing my buttonholes and elastic in this. So I thought I'd run down, do my buttons and my elastic with you, and then I'll leave you in peace and I'll finish up in my own time, as it were. So just in there, give myself a nice French knot as a button. 1, 2, 3, I think. I think 3 is what we're going to want. Let's have a little look. Yes. Whoops. What's that in there? Oh dear. Oh dear. There we go. Yeah, that's a nice size faux button, isn't it? So then I'll do the elastic that goes with it at the same time, just one big stitch like that, and then a nice big stitch there, and then back up there to do the next button. I'm just gonna 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm just gonna work my way down there like that until it's finished. I don't know how many exactly there are, but and then that line there will be the other side of the boot, so that'll be in red again. So yeah, it's almost like doing pistol stitches. Well, it's not, but it's a little bit. Oh, what's that in there? We've done that thread a bit too tight, love. Right, do that again. 1, 2, 3. And whack that down in there. Do you know, the things you can use, well, we can use all stitches, but French knots for is, you know, I mean, I've got them here as buttons. We use them as like stamens and the centres of flowers, the polleny bits. We use them as flower heads in their own right. They just work for so many things. And I'll get the iron out and take all this off when I'm finished, all these black lines, and I think, yeah, I think it's going to look very pretty, especially once we get it in our photo frame. I think it's going to look lovely. Oops. Oh, now that one's a bit out of line, isn't it? I have to push him over a bit. Oh dear. Perhaps this woman had a wonky leg. What do you reckon? I shouldn't say things like that, it's not funny. But that might explain why her buttons are out of line. What do you reckon? Sorry. All you've got is the noise of the fan, isn't it? I've just got 2 more to do. Yeah, I need a stitch there for the elastic. Yeah. Oh, that one's a bit crooked, never mind. Let's not forget that whilst we want to give it our very best effort, this is supposed to be a piece from 1913. So it's supposed to be a little bit worn out and raggedy, and that's the idea anyway. There's our very last one going on here. And then, as I say, I'm going to love you and leave you to go and get on with what you need to get on with. And I will be back to join you again very soon. So there we go. What's happened there? That wasn't supposed to happen. And obviously got puckered up somehow in that red stitching, you see, and then that'll go on like that. And that is going to be our vintage embroidery when we get there. Stay safe. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.